Welcome to yet another anime review. Today we're going to finish off our Pachinko Parlor series with Rio. You cut me off too early to make your joke. With Rio Rainbow Gate. Not Rio, there's two more words after that. Anyways, this anime series is based off of Tecmo's Super Blackjack series of slot machines. If you recall to my Twin Angel review, I mentioned that these were all going to be Pachinko games. Well, apparently the definition of pachinko has been expanded to include slot machines, so they can be enjoyed without irking the eye of the heavy anti-gambling laws. I'm certain that most of you are familiar with the company of Tecmo, if mostly through the Dead or Alive series. In fact, you may already be familiar with the character of Rio from the PSP game Dead or Alive Paradise, where she served as an extra character because Tecmo really loves doing that type of thing. At the Howard Resort, Rio is famed as the Goddess of Victory, a dealer whose soothing aura clears all doubt from your mind and basically hands you your next game on a silver platter. While normally this would be terrible practice for a dealer, giving the clientele all of the casino's money, Tom Howard, the owner of Howard's Resort, takes advantage of this name and makes Rio the main attraction, using her for everything from the TV spots, the photo shoots, to being a showgirl. If sexual harassment had a face, it would look like this guy. In the first episode, we are also introduced to a young girl by the name of Mint Clark, whose grandfather had brought her on a vacation while he goes off to enjoy the casino. Because she's the title character, Rio ends up doing the babysitting. This also meets us with our warm-up antagonist. A man, for all intents and purposes, wants to kidnap poor little Mint for what I assume would be a huge ransom from her grandfather. This isn't that type of series. The actual story is that he lost his wife and fills that hole with rare teddy bears. Now, I'm no marriage counselor, but I'd hazard a guess that she probably left you because you're the type of guy who steals teddy bears from small children. Just saying. So this leads to our first game, a normal hand of poker. And by normal I mean it makes Yu-Gi-Oh look low magic. The man boasts that he will defeat Rio with 4 queens, and refuses to take anything else. So what does Rio do? Rio uses some weird special ability to go into the deck, have a chat with the remaining 3 queens, and then beats him with a pair of 2s. I don't pretend to know anything about poker, but apparently that's the equivalent of going in Yu-Gi-Oh! And laying the finishing blow on someone with a Kuribo. Just an extremely embarrassing move you use to completely shame an opponent. This entire phenomenon is explained in series as an ability called Roll Ruler, an essentially magical ability that's somewhere between probability manipulation and mind control that allows the dealer to completely take control of the entire situation. So essentially this is a gaming series about using magic to cheat, and in universe this is something held with extremely high esteem. I'm really asking too much this time. Of course, because there needs to be complete balance of powers, we are later introduced to Rina, Rio's adoptive sister, who just so happens to have a Roll Ruler ability that fatigues and depresses the opponents, as opposed to Rio's beneficial effects. This is totally not going to come and bite us back in the ass, is it? The villains in this series consist of an evil organization called the Casino Guild, who caused Rio's mother to go into hiding so many years ago. Their intention is to collect a number of artifacts called the Gate Cards, which are of course 13 cards marked Ace through King, and use them to take over the world. Remember what I said last time about fetch quests? At least this time, the items are coming to the heroes, and we don't have to traipse around for them. In fact, the Casino Guild is more than happy to help her get those cards, so they can get them back from her in an incredibly soul-crushing match. And oh look, Risa's actual aunt heads the organization, so who fights Rio? Risa. Totally didn't see that one coming. So between the stress of having assailants for the past few days, a complete lack of sleep, and facing against a royal straight flush in spades, which even I can tell you was a pretty damn unbeatable hand, she loses all of her gate cards, and in addition, the entire resort to the villainous aunt, because what's the point of being evil if you can't be petty about it? Rio blames herself, and ends up going on a complete inward binge, trying to see where she went wrong. This of course leads to a huge thing of questioning her powers, particularly how happy are people when you use a power to let them win, and whether or not she's actually making people happy by using her power that makes people happy. Thanks being done in record-breaking time, and with the remaining 2 gate cards in their possession, Vio and her team head straight into the now Goldschmidt Kingdom and get attention the best way possible. So we have 2 dealers, 3 bunny girls, 1 gynoid ship computer, a stage magician, an actress, and a little girl walking into the casino and walking out with 15% of their net worth. So about the whole Karibo thing again. This clearly gets the needed attention, and a huge rematch between Rina and Rio begins over the last 2 cards. The game once again is poker, and Rina beats the living daylights out of Rio 14 times in a row. This is, however, no longer a game about poker. This is a game about role rulers, and warping reality to suit your ends. With the game to 15 points and Rina a hair's breadth away from victory, Rio finally pulls out all the stops and just flat out decimates the girl, claiming that just for once she wanted to do something for herself, showing that she might have learned more from this, I'm not sure. But anyways, we just finished a fetch quest, so a rainbow appears, and apparently if you walk into it you can make as many wishes as you want, a limited amount of time. I kind of wish I knew about this beforehand so I could think of something to wish for. But of course, being Rio, she makes a wish that goes for the character. So people find their kitties, people get promotions, the stock market soars, world peace is declared. My view count, however, is still pretty much the same, if you ever wanted to know the limits of divine powers. So in the end, the casino is saved, Rina learns not to impersonate Sasuke, and everyone is happy. And so the sun finally sets on the Howard Resort, only to see 2 suspicious people gazing from a distance for a nice sequel hook. All in all, this series is okay. It follows the hero cycle pretty well, and the character designs are there, but I mean, come on, this is Tecmo, and it's related to Dead or Alive. Pretty much everything's there as an excuse for fan service, and if you think otherwise, you're pretty well kidding yourself. That said, in its senselessness, it can be enjoyable, but you may have to explain yourself to any onlookers. Rio Rainbow Gate can be found on Crunchyroll for free with advertisements. Although, honestly, if you skip this anime, you won't be missing much.
And you never really get a good look at her naked boobs anyway.